In this lesson, we're going to focus on finding a trig function from the graph. And there's basically four parts of the trig function we need to determine. There are four properties to come up with the equation or the function. Those four parts are going to be our amplitude, which is A. We need to know our compression factor, so that relates to the period. We need to know the vertical shift, which is Q. And then we also need to know the horizontal shift, which is P. Now, for sine and cos, A, B, and Q are exactly the same. What's different is the horizontal shift, depending on if we want to write this function in terms of cosine or in terms of sine. So to generalize then, for cosine, which is easier, we want to use one of the max points for the the horizontal shift for cosine. For sine, we want to use one of the middle points. Okay, so this middle point here, and going to the right up, that is the starting point for a sine function. So that then ends up being the horizontal shift for sine. So again, those four parts are important. The b value, notice that the period t is in blue because that t value is what allows us to figure out the b. So then there's some formulas here that we can use. So the amplitude is a distance. So to find lengths on a coordinate plane, we subtract. So we subtract y max minus y min, because that gives us the distance from the very top to the bottom. That is double the amplitude. So we only want half of that. So we divide by 2. The absolute value is around that expression because we don't need a direction for this. So we're just going to take a distance. So we take the absolute value. The b value relates to the period. So if we find the period, we find the horizontal compression factor by taking 2 pi and dividing by t. The vertical shift is a position. So we're going to find the average position. To find the average, we're going to add y max and y min, and we're going to divide that by 2. So adding y max and y min divided by 2 gives us the average vertical position, or halfway between the min and max vertically. And that is a coordinate. And then lastly, for the horizontal shift, the easiest is going to be cosine because we are often given just a min and a max. So if we have a min and a max coordinate on a sine or cos graph, we can work out all these other parts. So just having a min and max, I'm going to write that down. A min and max coordinate allows us to determine the equation. Okay, so the horizontal shift for sine is going to be that middle point. The horizontal shift for cosine is going to be the max, and preferably, if we have a choice, we want to use cosine. Now, in terms of the period, we can also find write a formula for period if we like. So the period t is a distance. So again, we're going to subtract. So we're going to take the x position of a min or max and find the difference between the min and max x coordinates. And if we subtract the distance from min to max, we get this distance horizontally here. Now the period is going to be double that. So first of all, I'm going to do the absolute value, and then I can double that distance. The distance between the min and max and the x coordinates, we double that distance and we're going to get the whole period. So if we kind of zoom in here, That difference is going to be that light blue line, and to get the full period, we just double that to get the full period, going from peak to peak or trough to trough or middle to middle.